A vast continent with an abundance of animals. The largest terrestrial mammal on Earth and the fastest predators. And home to a very special big mouth, moody at times, but also loving. The savannas are full of drama. Battles for food, for mates, and for survival. And they are also the site of humorous scenes. Full of affection. There are many different venues under the African sun. The rivers are not just the lifeline for the savannas. They also bear witness to the secret life of the hippopotamus. Early morning in the Masai Mara National Park in Kenya. The savanna becomes busy even before the sun rises. Spotted hyenas are still feasting on the remnants of their nighttime hunt. Soon they will withdraw into their underground dens. It's September, time for the annual migration of the wildebeests from the Serengeti to the Masai Mara. They will have to cross the Mara River in order to find new feeding grounds. The hippos are returning to the river from grazing in the savanna during the night. They're always on land to feed at night. There are very few aquatic plants in the river for the hippos to feed on. They go back to the water before sunrise, where they will spend the entire day submerged in the river. Their skin is very sensitive and will get cracked if they're exposed to the hot sun for too long. The sun is rising, and the wildebeests are starting their day's march. Today is the most exciting part of their migration. This hippo is a bit delayed. These pudgy colossuses were already known as river horses, hippopotami, in ancient times. Though the barrel-shaped hippos have very little in common with the elegant hoofed animals they're named after. The latecomer clumsily trudges through the bush to the river that separates the Masai Mara from the Serengeti. Lions are tensely awaiting the events of the day when thousands of wildebeests and zebras will cross the river. Impalas are gathering on the other side. They're grooming each other and stretching their muscles with a few trial jumps. They can spring up to 27 feet while running from a predator. During their migration, the bucks are not territorial and get along with each other. It's all quite relaxed on the other side of the Mara River. Lions are the only felines that live in prides. Their teeth are long and sharp like daggers. The core of the pride consists of female relatives with their young. The mothers will also hunt together. Today is their lucky day. Their prey will come to them. More and more wildebeests are gathering on the other side of the Mara in order to cross. The elephants are done with their morning bathing ritual. They don't need to bathe in the river. Throughout the savannah, there are watering holes that refill during the night when it rains, enough to drink and play. The young love to play catch with each other in the grass. The new grass is also the reason why the wildebeests leave the Serengeti each year for 3 months at the end of the rainy season and migrate to the Masai Mara to feed. Thousands of them have gathered on the riverbank. Below them are the hippos. The Mara is the only river in the region that carries water all year round. And it's also the greatest obstacle for the largest animal migration in the world. Almost 1,000 miles southwards in Zambia, at the Luangwa River. September is the dry season here. Only small rivulets are left of the great river, a lifeline for the animals here. A male hippo returns to the almost dried-out riverbed. During the rainy season, the Luangwa was full to overflowing, a lush green paradise. Now it's getting hotter every day. The water level of the river drops lower and lower, and the male elephants are agitated. And when they clash, tensions run high. The elephants are in the majority, so the hippo takes off. Hippos can be surprisingly fast on land, up to 19 miles per hour. The elephants, with their built-in fans, are better equipped for the heat than the hippos. The surface of their large ears, through which they can emit excess body heat, amounts to 1/6 of their body surface. Dust can also protect against heat. The hippos can only survive the heat submerged in water. At this time of year, temperatures at the Luangwa River can easily exceed 104 degrees Fahrenheit. About 40,000 hippos live along the river, one of the largest populations in Africa. They're spread out far apart from each other during the rainy season. Now they all congregate in the deeper pools of the river. Inevitably, the bulls clash. The elephants are aware of the hippo's incredible strength. They will protect their babies within the middle of their group if they come across a pod of hippos. Agitated hippos are known to be among the most dangerous animals in Africa. Their canines and incisors can grow up to 1.6 feet. Underwater, the heaviest mammals are nearly weightless. They're constantly followed by a squadron of fishes as they move around. African carp. They're the cleaning crew of the hippos. Dental hygiene is an important part of their morning routine. Open mouth means, please come on in. The nearly 2-foot-long fishes trustingly swim deep inside the hippo's throat. They clean lips, teeth, tongue and gums wherever they find food residue. Afterwards, the fishes scrape algae and skin pieces from the hippo's body. The large mammals seem to thoroughly enjoy this spa treatment. A different crew cleans above the water surface. Oxpeckers search for ticks, lice and other insects, and they also clean out earwax. In addition, these sociable birds help with scabs. The problem is that they also like to keep wounds open, so they can continue to pick small pieces of flesh off the edges. They are parasites as much as they are neatness freaks. The hippos let them be as long as they don't get too annoying. The continuously shrinking Luangwa River is the only chance for many animals to drink. In this heat, a large buffalo needs to drink about 13 gallons of water per day. The crocodiles profit from the density of animals along the Luangwa. Their prey will have to come to the river at some point to drink. Even a small nibble is always welcome. But the weaver birds create quite a spectacle when they come to the water. They fly to the river in large flocks. It's almost impossible to grab just one bird out of this chaotic mass. Therefore, each weaver bird is relatively safe while drinking, as long as they stay within the flock. A fully grown elephant does not need to fear the reptiles. Giraffes, on the other hand, will avoid the deep pools in the river if at all possible. They will try to drink out of the remaining water puddles because here they are safe from crocodiles. The long neck is ideal for picking the best leaves out of the tops of trees, but not for drinking. The giraffes awkwardly spread their long legs in order to reach down to the water. It makes them very vulnerable, so the others stand guard. During the dry season, herbivores can only find dried-out food, but the cracked barren dirt is of some value to the elephants. Mineral salts in the soil help prevent the animals from developing deficiencies. This baboon is digging for gold. While lechwe waterbucks can only feed on the grasses that grow on the surface of the arid ground, these clever apes are looking for the nutritious roots and bulbs underneath. Many of the plants store nutritious carbohydrates and also moisture underground. But it does cost a bit of work. Even when it's this hot, the opposite sexes are still interested in each other. If they mate now, their offspring will be born during the lush rainy season. But before they mate, the male lechwe waterbucks have to conquer a territory. Many animals are now competing to be close to the water. and only few can protect their territory for more than a couple of days. The young zebra males are also fighting. But they are just practicing, biting each other's necks and kicking. A real fight would look very different. Back at the Mara River in Kenya, later in the morning, many thousands of wildebeests have come together along the river bank. They are understandably hesitant to cross this fateful river. As soon as they jump in, it's also the starting signal for others. The wildebeests know the dangers that lurk in the water. The embankment is steep and the current is strong. Only few places are suitable for crossing. They all take a leap of faith as they jump in. Others push from behind, which often creates panic. Every animal wants to cross the river as fast as possible. But instead of safety, they encounter a pack of lions. This female's hesitation seals her fate. The male lion attacks. He immediately pulls the wildebeest down to the ground. The lion's teeth are sunk deep into her throat. The second bite cuts through the windpipe and the esophagus of the wildebeest. It's dead within moments. The others are now underway. The lush grassland of the Masai Mara within sight. There are still hundreds and thousands of wildebeests streaming in from the Serengeti. Almost 1.5 million animals will cross the Mara River within the next few days. In addition, also about 200,000 zebras. They are nervously drinking, and rightly so. The hippos are relaxing in the river only a few feet away from the tense zebras, seemingly unaffected. Crocodiles don't just lurk in the middle of the river, but also along the shoreline. They're waiting to get hold of an animal and pull it into the water to drown it. Once one of them is caught, the others start running in the hope that they won't be next. Running within a herd is always safer than alone. Except when two reptiles are encountered at once, then there is no escape. Unless there is a miracle. While some run for their lives, others take a nap in the cool water, only a few feet away. Younger hippos have to breathe every 2 to 3 minutes, while adults can stay underwater for up to 6 minutes. This little one is cool and collected, despite the panic right next to it. As long as the mother is around, Crocodiles won't dare to come close to a hippo baby. It's midday now. The sun sits high in the sky. The young hippos come out onto the sandbank, while the adults are still in the water. Do young hippos get cold more quickly in the water and therefore have to warm up outside in the midday sun? It was long believed that hippos were related to pigs. But then genetic analysis showed that their closest relatives also live in the water, whales. And they certainly have similarities. Both have virtually no hair on their bodies. And more importantly, both can communicate underwater via infrasound. Even though hippos are not streamlined and efficient swimmers like their ocean-going cousins, hippos spend part of their day on land. Often mothers and babies of the same age congregate so that the young are better protected and they can play together in their hippo kindergarten. It's getting tight on the sandbank. The lions are also taking a nap. These large felines are known to be lazy. They will spend 12 to 16 hours of the day sleeping or dozing in the shade, sometimes even up to 20 hours. As carnivores, they can afford to doze. Vegetarians, like the giraffes, have to spend a lot more time and effort feeding to get the proper nutrition. Meat is more nutritious, so the carnivores can rest after they feed and also save their strength for their next nighttime hunt. These young giraffe bulls are not looking for food at the moment. They're training to use their necks and heads as weapons. They hit each other in their sides with their heads, because their horn-like ossicones leave painful marks. They move their heads rhythmically back and forth, bend their necks and hit each other. It's not serious yet, because these groups of bachelors are still young and only practicing. Adult male giraffes will fiercely fight each other with all of their might, especially during the mating season. But most often their fights don't have any serious consequences. Once the combatants have figured out which one is stronger, the defeated male withdraws. But sometimes they do knock each other out, and one of the males will be left lying on the ground unconscious. These youngsters are still only practicing. After a good long nap, the lions also become active again. First she purrs, then she growls, and then she even bites and hits him. Lionesses who don't have cubs to care for will be on heat several times a year. These phases are very stressful for everybody involved. After mating, she will roll on her back to collect her strength. And he does the same. They will copulate many more times. The lion couple will need a lot of stamina in order to procreate. She shows him that she is ready to go again. And he joins in. Let's go. First purring, and then growling. And so it goes on every 15 minutes, up to 40 times a day, and often up to 5 days at a time. For every lion cub that survives the first year of its life, the parents had to mate about 3,000 times. Back to Zambia and the Luangwa River. At 140 degrees Fahrenheit, the hippos stay submerged in the water throughout the day. Mothers and babies have a strong bond. To shape that bond, the mothers will not allow any other hippos near their babies for the first 2 weeks after birth. Afterwards, they will fully rejoin the pod again. The baby often rests on the mother's back during nap time. This way, it doesn't have to worry about surfacing every few minutes in order to breathe. The young hippo has a lot to learn. For example, that fishes are interested in feeding on its dung. The hippo's excretions are very nutritious, and therefore fishes are always hanging around waiting for the next movement. Not far from the hippo pool, another nursery. After 3 months, the crocodile babies are finally hatching from their eggs. The mother has hidden the nest underneath a mound of plant remains. Once they are fully developed inside their eggs, the baby crocs begin to chirp. As if on cue, they all hatch at the same time. These chirps are also heard outside the nest. A large mouth full of teeth is already waiting for them. It grabs the babies one by one. And gently sets them in the water, where they're safe and protected by their loving mother. They will soon catch their first meal all by themselves. Back at the hippo pool, a large bull is agitated. Normally, every bull occupies a territory of about 300 feet of river, together with his harem of 10 to 15 females and their offspring. Now, during the dry season, everybody has to move closer together, and that causes agitation among the bulls. Aggression towards each other will come out of nowhere. And once 2 bulls start to fight, the entire pod feels uneasy. The bull's threatening yawns are meant to persuade the opponent to withdraw of his own accord. But if that doesn't work, they will fight. Which can end in death, but not only because of their large teeth. After all, they can weigh up to 6,000 pounds. And that weight will prove deadly for younger hippos that get in the way of the bull's aggressive pursuit of each other. It's easy for a younger animal to get run over and drown in the process. Or get trampled to death. This little hippo was in the wrong place at the wrong time. It was trampled to death by its own kind. The desperate mother is pushing it with her snout, trying to wake up her baby. But her gentle attempts at resuscitation are in vain. It will take days for her to grasp that she cannot revive the lifeless body of her little one. There has also been a death at the Mara River in Kenya. Usually, crocodiles and hippos live next to each other peacefully. A hippo is certainly able to bite a 9-foot crocodile in half with its giant jaws. Nevertheless, the reptiles have managed to kill a baby. This mother also hasn't left her lifeless baby's side. The cadaver is almost intact and is already bloated and floating on the surface. Crocodiles usually wait to feed until their prey is starting to decay. They can hold on to prey with their strong teeth, but they can't bite anything off. Once the cadavers decay, it's easier for the crocs to tear out bite-sized pieces, which they then swallow whole. The wildebeests have finally arrived on the lush pastures of the Masai Mara savanna and are able to spread out in this broad expanse. They will stay and graze for 2 to 3 months before they go back across the Mara River and head to where they came from. Wildebeests do not have to fear crocodiles here, but other predators are already observing the herds. The cheetah is still waiting for the right moment. It's strategy, speed, and surprise. With only a couple of leaps, the cheetah reaches a speed of 62 miles per hour within seconds. About half of the cheetah's predatory attempts are successful. There's no other solitary hunter with a better success rate. But this time the cheetah picked the wrong prey. The fully grown wildebeest turns the tables on the big cat. After this high-speed sprint, the cheetah needs to take a break, otherwise it will risk overheating. The herd is on high alert now and needs to settle down again anyway. Before the fast feline can launch another attack. The cheetah is finally successful with this young wildebeest. It runs into the wildebeest's legs so that the animal loses its balance and topples over. Then the cheetah chokes the wildebeest to death with its teeth. The peak hunting season for the big cats starts once the large herds arrive. Only the hoofed animals migrate, following seasonal changes. The big cats stay in their territory, which means that their feast is not always this plentiful. Lions can devour up to 66 pounds of meat in one meal. But once their bellies are full and prey is plentiful, they leave their leftovers to others. The vultures profit from this slaughter in the steppe. Once they spot a cadaver, they gobble up all they can, while constantly warding off the competition. The birds make quick work of the cadaver. It only takes them half an hour to devour most of it. Some vulture species have a bald neck, which enables them to reach far into the cadaver and feast on its insides. Most often, there are several different species of vultures working on a cadaver together. The large Nubian vulture, with its red head, is the only vulture that can crack open a cadaver with its large beak. The white-backed vultures and Ripple's vultures also profit from that. They all consume more meat than the lions, hyenas and cheetahs combined. Luckily so, otherwise the entire steppe will be covered with decaying animals, breeding grounds for disease. The marabou stork helps with the cleanup. Its bald neck indicates that the bird is also a scavenger. The lazy lions have a lot of time for their families. The juveniles play with each other. And the adults also like to join in. The lion females all join together in raising the offspring of the pride. The same goes for the elephants. All females help to look after the babies. After all, there's a lot to learn. Starting with the trunk. It's not just the nose, but also a giant straw. Breathing and swallowing have to be carefully coordinated. And for some, it's just easier to kneel down while drinking. It takes a while until young elephants are able to control the long swinging tube that consists of 100,000 small muscles. But then it also becomes a multitasking instrument used to soothe others and also for making loud music. The lion cubs also have to learn. To learn that a dead ostrich not only delivers good meat and a beautiful headdress, but also makes a great practice tool. The young lions are still too small to hunt with the pride, but while roughhousing with each other, they learn to sneak up, to dash in and firmly grab hold of their prey, the correct sequence of movements for killing. They will be nursed until they are 6 months old. After that, they will be weaned and join the adults for their first hunt. It will take another 1.5 to 2 years until they have learned all the tricks and become successful hunters themselves. Still time enough to practice with ostrich feathers and enjoy the good months in the Masai Mara. It will not always be this lush and green here. And the carefree days of the little cubs will come to an end. The baby elephants at the Luangwa River in Zambia, on the other hand, are going through more trying times. 104 degrees Fahrenheit and very little water. This mud bath must feel refreshing. Unless you get stuck. Luckily, the mother is there to help pull the little elephant out of the mud with her trunk. The hippos are also wallowing in the mud. The elephants are only looking to cover themselves with a protective shield of mud from the scorching sun. Whereas most hippos spend the entire day in the former watering hole, which has now turned into a smelly puddle. Because every hippo drops several buckets of dung into the mud pool throughout the day. The hippos have trampled an exit ramp into the steep embankment. Thanks to a thick layer of mud covering their skin, they are now leaving the protection of the water during the day so they can search for food in the dried-out woodlands. The bull is also leaving the pool. The water is thick with mud. He has to heave his 6,000 pounds up the embankment on his stubby little legs. But even around the dried-out Luangwa, there are a few green spots. These side arms were cut off from the river and are now shallow lagoons. Full of aquatic plants without any current to pull them away. The lagoons are filled with nutrition, once well fertilized with hippo dung. Every adult hippo excretes about 44 pounds of dung per day and fertilizes Africa's rivers. Not only aquatic plants profit from the nutrition-filled hippo dung, but also fishes and insects. And that's what these ibises are poking around for, while using the hippos' backs as stepping stones. The hippos also profit from their well-fertilized pools. During the dry season, the hungry hippos will come here in the day. Normally, they would mow down the steppe with their enormous mouths at night. But now, they're loudly slurping this green soup, consisting of duckweed and water cabbage, during the day. The elephants, with their long multitasking implements, are more elegant eaters. They carefully choose what's delectable and what isn't. And also clean the hippo dung off first, before eating. The hippos, on the other hand, are not quite as choosy. They feed on 88 pounds of greens per day. At a body weight of 4,000 to 6,000 pounds, this is not a lot of food. The hippo's stomachs have several chambers filled with bacteria that help with digestion. And the intestinal tract is almost 200 feet long, which absorbs a lot of nutrition into the body. Hippos are excellent feed converters, and therefore can afford to lazily doze around in the water all day long. The elephant is now also cooling off in the green pool. An African elephant on average weighs 11,000 pounds. Compared with the hippo, the elephant needs a lot more food, about 380 pounds per day. Elephants only have one stomach, and the intestinal tract is only about 100 feet long. The majority of food will leave the elephant's body almost undigested. Therefore, the elephant has to feed and feed and feed between 16 and 20 hours per day. It's late afternoon at the Mara River. Two young hippo bulls are jostling with each other and are called to order by the lead bull. Of course, the teenagers won't listen and continue. Until the old bull finally breaks them up. The two young males are not fully grown, but are already sexually mature at the age of 6 to 8 years. It's time to chase away potential competitors. They will find their own territory on another stretch of the Mara River. After the banishment, a balancing act with a lot of weight. The bull keeps sliding off the back of the female during mating. He often pushes her completely underwater until it finally works. It will take 8 months until the baby is born. Dusk settles over the steppe of the Masai Mara in Kenya. Nighttime is also rapidly approaching in Zambia at the Luangwa River. The temperature is finally dropping. Life on land begins for the hippos. During the day, they live together in groups, but at night they go off on their own. They will wander up to 32 miles in search of food and graze with their wide mouths. Unfortunately, the savanna has already been grazed clean during the dry season. So some hippos resort to a sort of recycling, feeding on the droppings of some of their fellow hippos. The dung still contains important nutrients. Desperate times call for desperate measures. And what's wrong with digesting another's meal for a second time around? The green lagoons are also busy at night. Massive hippos slurp up tiny duckweeds in order to be sated. This young hippo doesn't seem to fear the large crocodile. Has it already learned that the reptiles are not as mobile during the cool night as they are during the day when the sun is out? Dawn over Africa. At the first sunlight, the heavyweights return to the remaining water pools along the Luangwa River. And after a night grazing on land, the hippos become river horses again.